Hey, this is an update video. I'm over here. I really can't do much work right now because somebody's getting better. She had an embolism and we're helping her get back to walking. But I'm down here and it's really hard to work on stuff and my personal time is very, very limited. This is pretty much it for the week. So I really don't have a bigger video. It's also Thanksgiving week, so I think I can take a not a break, because I did get some stuff done, but I think the biggest thing I want to talk about this week is I am unlisting the Doom 2016 in-depth review. First of all, horrible name. It's really more of a personal retrospective, and that's really why I'm unlisting it. I feel like the message it gets across is too buried in misguided cynicism, because it was the very first time I did a video of that size. And I just I let it get away from me. So I'm going to talk about what the video was kind of actually about here in a much more compact form. And then at the end of the video, I will let you go back and watch early 2018 me try to figure out how to... It was an in-depth review because I actually reviewed every level, or I at least played the whole game, whereas Yonoid was like an hour. I played an hour of Planet Coaster, talked about its DLC a little. So this I have footage somewhere, probably in the archive drive, of the entirety of Doom 2016, my very first playthrough. Doom 2016's problem is it doesn't want to commit entirely to the retro DOS aesthetic, but it doesn't want to commit to the, the modern New Age aesthetic. It's kind of stuck in between, and it feels less good as a result. In the review, I mocked the game for having a narrator and cutscenes. The cutscenes are bad in Doom 2016, though. Darren DePaul just kind of talks to you for like 5 minutes, and he's like, "Here's an origin cell," and you're like, "Okay, thanks." And then Olivia Pierce does the exact same thing like one level later. There is a lot to dislike about Doom 2016. Its combat flow is weird. Glory kills are very slow. The chainsaw is kind of a very cumbersome to use weapon because every enemy takes a varying amount of gas. The exploration isn't good because the maps are kind of just arena, and a little squiggly line to get you from one to the other. It's a good start. It's a very good foundation for what Eternal embellishes and kind of expands upon. But I think a good Doom game wouldn't have had to take that growing pain step. I feel like it could have just filled into the role and ran. That said, looking back, it's better than I give it credit for. I do a lot of complaining, and there's a lot of just like weird jokes. I make a joke about uranium fever. Like, that's the level of comedy on the channel in 2018. People still watch some of those videos, and it's disgusting. I honestly feel like the channel really only starts getting good after What's in a Name? Or was it the Art of the Game Company logo? Like, that was like the last video where I'm like, I don't know. If, I had to sit down and watch all the videos I've ever made with friends, one would go on forever. But two, there'd be a few that I would elect to skip. And it's mostly stuff from right around Let's Talk About Payday 2 back. And there's more videos I'd want to skip further back. And Doom 2016 is kind of one that I still like the video. I just feel like it needed a rewrite. And I feel like that rewrite needed to be focused on my personal thoughts versus the objective truth. Because the message at the end of the video is, it's not my favorite Doom, but it's kind of a Doom we all need. It was, a moment of catharsis, and the original Doom and Doom 2, came out in a moment of catharsis. The 90s were a turbulent time, and like politically and socially, grunge was in. So Doom at that point in time made a lot of sense, and it did so well because it kind of gave people this... Doom Guy is brutal and vicious and bloodthirsty, but he's not an anti-hero. He's a very kind of true to himself and true to his word character. It's interesting to be a good guy but still violent. And Doom has kind of always been about that. But Doom 2016, first HD Doom, came out in 2016. And there was a lot happening in 2016. Leonardo DiCaprio won an Oscar. The Cubs won the World Series. The United States and the UK set themselves on fire for fun. But I feel like a lot of people just needed, that moment. They needed a moment in the anger room. And Doom 2016 was 10 hours in the anger room. And, everybody got it out of their system, and they enjoyed its inclusion of a few boomer shooter mechanics, but it doesn't really commit to it. And I feel like Doom Eternal commits better, but it commits differently. And that's nice. One of the big reasons I want to take down the video is because the game Proteus is exactly what I was hoping for with Doom 2016. That is a game that's all about its shooting and all about its exploration and platforming. It kind of takes the Doom 1 and Doom 2 gameplay loop and just runs with it. And I love that so much. It's got a really good soundtrack. It's got a little bit of that like industrial glitch metal sound that I don't like. But it's that plus just raw distilled guitars, drums, bass, like metal. Whereas Doom 2016, the easiest way to describe it is everybody likes their fry sauce a little different. This is a bad analogy, but everyone likes their fry sauce a little different. Some people like a lot of mayonnaise and a little ketchup. Some people like a lot of ketchup with a little mayonnaise. I am a lot of mayonnaise and a little ketchup type of guy. Doom 2016 soundtrack was a lot of ketchup and a little bit of mayonnaise. And, some people love that. I don't. Eternal came back with, a little spoonful of mayonnaise. It's like, here you go. And I'm like, that's better, thank you. And then Ancient Gods was like, hey, do you like Andrew Hulshult? And I'm like, yeah. And they're like, here you go. And I said, thanks. But Doom 2016 is kind of just, it's a good game. It's just not as good as I wanted it to be. And it was kind of one of those moments where the hype sold a game bigger than a game could be. And, that happens. And I kind of let myself fall into that. And I was angry because it wasn't the Doom I was hoping for. And that's kind of a me problem. And that's why that video should have been a personal retrospective. I will go back and update the video title after I unlist it. But I just wanted to clear the air. There are legitimate things I don't like about Doom 2016. The runes and the suit upgrades. There's a lot of superfluous ones. There's a lot of ones that just don't work well. One of them gives you BFG ammunition. It's very easy to kind of just play the whole game with the super shotgun and the BFG. The arsenal is really unbalanced too. The moment you unlock the mastery for the super shotgun, it uses one shell at a time, but it's not less pellets. It just simply can shoot twice before it reloads, which doubles the damage and halves the ammunition, so it's 4 times as good. And you can legitimately play the entire rest of the game with just the super shotgun. Once you unlock the turret mode upgrade for the minigun to let you use that forever, you can use that forever. Once you unlock the siege mode mastery for the Gauss cannon, you can use that forever. So you can just play the whole game with those 3 weapons. And I played Doom Eternal with just the ballista, the minigun, and the super shotgun as well. But I do have to use other things. I do have to blood punch. I have to use the fire. I have to use the grenade. I use the chainsaw to kind of keep that loop going. And if I can't keep that going, then, what do I use? The rocket launcher. Or I switch to a weapon that uses less ammunition so I can conserve it better. So every weapon kind of has a spot in Eternal. And in 2016, once you unlock the super shotgun mastery, it's, blam, blam, ka-chunk, blam, blam, ka-chunk, blam, blam, ka-chunk for the next 3, 4, 5 hours, however much time you have left. I believe I actually got the mastery in the stream play like super early, so I kind of just played the whole game with that. And that's objectively bad design, because there's no reason to use, a 7th or an 8th of the arsenal. A 9th, maybe? It's pathetic. And Eternal makes sure you can't do that. The super shotgun and the regular shotgun are 2 completely incompatible weapons by the time it's all said and done. Because one uses 1 shell and one uses 2 shells. One can turn into a grenade launcher or be fully automatic. One's more about just good burst damage. And that's really nice. So, I don't know, I guess at the end of the day, Doom 2016, it feels like they wanted to go more retro, more old school, but investors were very afraid of how well that would do, and that's why, you know, they pushed the multiplayer. That's why they pushed, you know, the DLC was multiplayer upgrades. That's why there's dabs and weird dances you can unlock. That's why there's extensive Praetor suit customization. And it's still very Quake-like, but, you know, it kind of misses something. It kind of loses something. And eventually they did add modes that let you play as demons. But when it launched, it was kind of just Quake, but with vague demonic references. And that was kind of the Doom they tried to sell. And that's not the Doom people wanted. And they made it very, very clear in 2016 and 2017. When they launched Doom Eternal then, in 2018, or when they first announced it, they were very upfront. This is going to be a single-player campaign. Its DLC will be single-player. The multiplayer will be emphasizing Slayer combat versus demons. This is a game that's going to harken back to Doom 1 and Doom 2 in very unexpected ways. We went back and gave the zombie soldier green hair, because he had that in the sprite. And we made the Mancubus no longer this weird, like, grub-like beast with, like, weird, like cartilaginous guns. No, it's just an ogre with, like, cannons attached to it. And, oh, here's the Archvile instead of the Summoner. It's actually the Archvile. Oh, we added this enemy that plays the game like how you play it, so you have to wait for openings to do a whole bunch of damage. And that's really cool. And I honestly, I can't hold ill will towards Hugo Martin for doing what he did to Doom, because Doom Eternal is goddamn fun. But, you know, the series did need that growing pain in 2016 and kind of grow from it. I don't hate people that like that game. All I can really say is it's just all uphill from here. If you really liked Doom 2016, play the original too. They're on Steam. They actually just released their own source port, but there's still like the IWAD file, so you can play it in GZ Doom, which I think is the best way to play old school Doom. It's just got so many settings and things you can adjust. So you can play it that way. They're on Switch, they're on Xbox, they're on PlayStation. Doom 3 is weird, but I think it's at least worth a try. And, of course, then there's Doom Eternal, which is god dang fun. People don't like the platforming in Doom Eternal. It's not that hard. Honestly, the platforming is probably my favorite part of Eternal. And that's probably why I look like a maniac whenever I review a Doom game, why they have, like ratios between 40 and 70%. Because I'm like, I like the platforming. There's too many combat arenas. The music's kind of obnoxious. And everybody just hates that. I'm not going to make this longer than it needs to be. If you do want to see the video from 2018, it will be in the description, and it'll also be on the end slate here. Be warned, though, it's a video of mine from 2018. Go back and watch... Honestly, watch anything from 2017 to, May of 2018, and you will see that the quality of the content is just not up to snuff. Because I legitimately, at the time, I didn't even have 500 subscribers yet, and I wasn't taking this super seriously. I was kind of just doing it so it was a thing I could do in my spare time, and as a result, it's all bad. I was very proud of the video when it came out, though, and I was very I was frustrated with the reception it got, because I feel like people didn't watch the whole thing, and I kind of understand now. You can't make people watch the whole goddamn thing. They'll skip around and watch bits and pieces. And if you're just ragging on the game until the last 10 minutes, then that's all people will know it for, is you ragging on the game. Whereas I think here I kind of space out things I don't like, things I do like, and kind of talk about, Proteus is what I was expecting from Doom 2016, and that's the easiest way to sum up the Doom 2016 review. And it's more of a personal retrospective of my feelings about the game as I went along. And the message at the very end of the video is very good. It needed to be spread throughout. I honestly think I should have been talking about that when I actually got the message, because I got that message like at the very beginning of the second play session, and it was out of 5 or 6 sessions. So, like the UAC tower, like the tower level where you can fall forever and die from fall damage, that one, I probably should have been talking about the me getting that message and how it changed how I was thinking about the game there, instead of just continuing to rag on it and talk about it at the very end. Anyways, that'll do it. Say goodbye to Elsa. She's not going anywhere. Honestly, she's not. She's just a good dog. Okay, bye. If you like this video and you'd like to see more, I'd recommend subscribing. Patreon and social media links are in the description.